Hello, and welcome to the Tarot with Titania reading of the week for April 24th to May 1st, 2026. Welcome if you're new here. If you're returning, thank you for joining me. I look forward to what we will pull through this week for our personal and our collective highest and greatest good. And with that, let's take 3 nice deep breaths together. Coming back to that beautiful body. And with that third exhale, I invite you to imagine a tree root coming down out of the base of your spine, going deep down into Mother Earth and grounding you here and now in this present moment. Knowing that this tree root not only grounds you and anchors you, but it is also a conduit through which anything that no longer serves can easily pass down into Mother Earth and become compost for your new good growth. Creator, this is your daughter, Titania, and I'm here with all of your children now and in the future as we co-create this reading of the week for April 24th to May 1st, 2026. My intention is to be a clear channel for the information we most need to receive right now, and to provide this in a manner that we will easily and effortlessly hear, understand, and integrate for our personal and our collective highest and greatest good. I call upon my higher self and the higher selves of all those listening, as well as an overlighting angel of communication, to facilitate our exchange and ensure that it happens in the highest and best way possible. I'd like to acknowledge and appreciate the overlighting devas of all those areas in which we find ourselves, all of us who are connected through this reading. Love and appreciation to the land that holds you and the life that you are creating. I'd like to invite the 4 archangels to come and hold the 4 directions around us, creating a sacred container across time and space of love, of light, of healing, of insight, of transformation, of peace. Whatever is uppermost in your heart and mind may be held here in the best way possible, and may you receive what you need for the week to come. I invite Raphael to hold the east, Michael to hold the south, Gabriel to hold the west, and Uriel to hold the north. Thank you for coming. Anything that doesn't match these frequencies and these intentions is welcome to go now. And let's get in, shall we? Okay, Creator, what is it that will serve us best this week of April 24th to May 1st, so that we can be at our best, as always, overcoming whatever obstacles are in our path to our highest and greatest good, our highest fulfillment, contentment, satisfaction, pleasure, joy, well-being. Help us to come from the purified desire that animates our hearts and our spirits, and make the best decisions possible in service to our good from this place. Okay. We're starting with Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. These 3 signs are connected to the fire element. We have the Queen of Wands. She is the feminine aspect of the suit of wands, the generative potential that we all carry within us. Sitting in the recent past, this means that our ability to flow with our creativity and generate magnificently is important to us in this reading. We need to be in our feminine generative potential, creating easily and effortlessly, possibly connecting with others to create. These abilities and skills that we have will serve us very well going forward in this week's reading. The present card is the card of fulfillment, the 9 of hearts. We have a water card. That's what the hearts are in my deck. And this has to do with that cultivating that sense of deep happiness and well-being in our field. This has been coming up a lot lately. We are the ones cultivating our reality. We are the ones adding unto the human field. We are the ones creating the future from this now moment. And so cultivating experiences of fulfillment and well-being, creating them, here's our generative potential here, is what will serve us best at this time. So if you come across something beautiful, give yourself permission to be there for a while and appreciate it, whether that's a sunset or a tree in bloom or a wonderful fragrance on the air. Come home to yourself. Come home to your heart, to yourself. Be in the moment. Absorb it. Take it in. Savor it. Let yourself have that fulfillment in the moment. Because by doing this, you're adding it into your field. You're expanding your well-being. You're expanding your state of something more than yourself. And you're becoming a clearing for that in the human field. So by you taking it in as a human aspect of our collective human field, you're bringing that beautiful energy into not only your own experience, which is a wonderful thing to do, creating more fulfillment, happiness, joy, and satisfaction in our field is very nourishing, but you're also adding it to the collective field. So just remember that. It's not just for you that you get to enjoy things, it's for everybody. And then the near future, we have the card of generosity, the Six of Pentacles. And so this going forward into our lives this week and beyond, what is generosity really? Generosity is when we are so full we can't help ourselves. We spill out into the lives of those around us because we have so much we want to share. We're so full of fulfillment. We have basked in it. We're soaked in it. Our pores are saturated and we can't help ourselves. We want to share with others. We want to be that change in the world. We want to connect with others and see them and affirm them and evoke from them the highest and best because we're so whole and we're so full and life is so good. We want that for everyone. This is the quality that cultivating this week going forward, that field of generosity. Now, please understand that generosity does not mean that you're giving from an empty place. That doesn't work for anybody. We cannot do very much good if we are exhausted or tired or empty, and then we come from resentment. And resentment is a very different energy than generosity and fulfillment and joy and expansion. It's very different. It's retractive. It's small because we need to do that. And this isn't a judgment. This is the nature of being human with a human body. We only have so much energy, so much bandwidth, so much time in these human forms. We're limited by the boundaries of the space-time reality, of the three-dimensionality of this realm that we exist in as humans. There's another part of us that doesn't. But in this human form, we need to be in concern for it, regard for it, care for it ourselves, these beautiful bodies, so that we do have what we need to move out in the world and bring what we came to bring and to be the clear channel that we've come to be a channel for the consciousness that lives through us out into the world, through the unique configuration of us. Each of us is a unique configuration. We all have a slightly different pattern, which is why we're not all the same. And so as that life force energy comes through us, it's different, similar, but different. It's quite a wonderful thing being a human. And we're all humans, or most of us, I suppose. I don't know. I'm not an authority on such things, but many of us, we're walking around, most of us on Earth, in these human forms, having this human experience. And the humanity is a very important consideration for how we do this well. When the body is strong and healthy and cared for and loved and appreciated, we have a very, very, very different bandwidth and capacity to exist in fulfillment and generosity than we do if our tank is completely empty. We've been neglecting our body, not getting enough rest, not eating the right foods, polluting our minds and our consciousness with all kinds of crud, and not getting out and circulating, not meditating, not connecting to the broader, wiser part of us. We can make active choices that support us in being the best iteration of ourselves possible. And if we want to live into that possibility space, we have to take care of our humanness. We have to love ourselves that much so that our God-gifted apparatus, this beautiful human form, can function in the highest and best way possible in service to that love and light coming through it. The foundation card, the Queen of Swords. So here we have one card of each element so that we are balanced this week. And the air sign is our foundation, the Queen of Swords. Once again, the feminine energy. So it's that we know the feminine is rising. It's a different way of doing things. It's magnetic rather than active. It draws rather than goes out and hits things over the head and drags them home. It's a very different quality of energy. So this lovely Queen of Swords is reminding us of this feminine energy, but as it's an air sign, it's very practical. It's have a plan and work the plan and maybe flow with the plan to a certain extent rather than it being a little bit more rigid and a little bit more constructed than the masculine quality of energy. But it still is this sort of practical, let's get things done, let's work things out. This is the foundation of the reading this week. New ideas, new action, and taking action from these ideas in a good way so that we can move ourselves forward. But again, anchored in this feminine energy, this intuition, this feeling what is most appropriate rather than being more logically driven. This is dropping into the heart more, flowing from the heart. The sort of fulfillment card is all about the heart, being here now in this moment and choosing what we're doing from this place so that we are full and we are generous and we're abundant and we're flowing in wonderful ways. Yeah, it's interesting that we have one of each element this week. And it's all women on the cards this week. So yes, very much this feminine energy, this rising of the feminine quality. And that's whether we have a male or a female body. It doesn't matter. We have both elements inside of us, both the yin and the yang, the masculine and the feminine. But at this time, we've existed in a very masculine, perhaps a toxic masculine paradigm. And we're coming out of that now. We're coming into a time of being in the heart, being connected, intuitive, relational, communicative, being with others, and being more authentic perhaps than we've been before, because it's not just the mind, which tends to leave the body and go off someplace else and isn't directly connected to the body or not as connected as the rest of us. So this mind piece is important, but it's only part of the picture. We need our bodies, we need our spirits, we need our hearts as well. And that's when we have that wholeness through the breath. Coming back to here and now, that's when we're at our best. That's when we have our most to offer. So I think that's quite a lovely reading, this sort of creative, generative energy and being feminine and intuitive and guided by that energy, bringing that into our present. And with that combined with this fulfillment energy, this basking in the beauty, basking in the well-being. Yes, despite the craziness in the world, we need people to be living into beauty, living into the harmony, living into peace, because that's how we anchor it in the human field, the collective field. It doesn't help anyone for us to be flipping out about what's happening somewhere else and the suffering that's going on. We can send them love, we can send them compassion, we can send them our energy on a very positive level, but this is the biggest thing that we can do to actually change the field that we all come from and that we are co-creating in and that we are creating into. This is part of the responsibility, I would say, of those of us who are not in those environments of suffering, is to hold a very lofty frequency of beauty, of harmony, of peace, of well-being, of kindness, of something greater, something loftier, so that that exists in the human field. There's enough of it there to go to shift the collective in positive ways. It's a big responsibility, and we do need to take care of it. This card of generosity of spirit, that's the biggest thing we can be doing. How do we serve? Well, we serve through these bodies. We didn't come to earth not to pay attention to them. Being healthy, being strong, being resilient, being adaptive, being nourished, being well, we have what we need then to hold the loftiest field of energy that we can as individuals and as a collective. And in turn, that initiates new ideas and new action. That is very feminine. This is all, as I said, this energy this week is very much this feminine quality of we're not doing this just for ourselves. We're doing it for everyone by taking good care. It's funny because we've been trained to think that we're selfish if we do that. And there's a difference in the energy of that. There's a difference, and I don't know if I can articulate it, but coming from this space of for our good and the highest and greatest good, when we set that intention, we can lean into trusting that we will be inspired to do what is best, not only for ourselves, but for the collective. Intention setting is very, very, very important. And that's this mind distinguishing what it is that we want, expressing it, and then letting ourselves line up with that as we go forward. I think that is our reading for this week. Let's pull our card to grow on so that we can bring all this in and be practical and useful with it functional with it. So, Creator, as we move forward this week, what is it that would be most helpful for us to know in service to our good and the good of everyone whose life we touch? Okay, our card to grow on, please. The Magician. So we had our 4 elemental cards, and now we have one of the major arcana to close the reading out with. So the Magician. The Magician is a very grounded, centered individual who has understood the workings of the universe. What are those elements? How do they come together? How do we harness them? How do we create what we want? The Magician is pulling water up out of the ground. By aligning our attention, our intention, and our will, we come into congruence, and then we pull our reality through. We bring it in, we magnify it, we magnetize it, we pull it towards us. This energy of the Magician is our card to grow on this week. What do we want? And by focusing on the good, focusing on the uplifting and the positive, we draw more through. So really, we have a choice. What are we focused on? Are we focused on what we want, or are we focused on what we don't want? We as humans have the free will of attention. Where are we putting our attention? Because where we put our attention is where our energy is going to go. So if we're continually plugging into things that are not life-giving, that are draining us, that are taking away our energy, our enthusiasm, our attention, our will, our desire force, we're not using or leveraging our abilities very well in these human forms. We need to be very deliberate and intentional and mindful about who we are, how we're being, so that we can be the most generative, productive, helpful, congruent channel for the life force that we can be. So this week, our card to grow on, we have the Magician. Where is our attention? What is our intention? Can we harness our will and stay focused on what it is that we are giving our priority to? Because otherwise, there are other things on this planet that are very happy to take our attention away and dissipate our focus and our will and leave us without an intention. It's very, very important that we craft our intention, even a little bit every day. It can be an intention for the entire day. It can be what one teacher speaks of as segment intending. As you begin something new, what is your intention for that section of the day? I'm driving to work. My intention is for safety, for enjoyment, to flow with other drivers, for safety for everyone around me, to enjoy the drive, to have the smoothest and most efficient ride into my workplace, for example. That would be intention setting. And then arriving at work, my intention is to have the best day possible, to see and affirm and evoke the highest and best in everyone who I encounter, including myself, to do the best work that I can do today, and to enjoy myself. To see things that give me pleasure and satisfaction and joy, and to feel fulfilled and happy. Just examples. Maybe they're a little more complicated than they need to be, but you get the gist of it. Each little section of life, we can just take a pause before we engage. With the breath, come back to that body, set the intention, then engage. It makes a huge difference in how life flows. And so, I wish you a very magical week with the Magician. Practicing presence, practicing mindfulness, practicing attention, intention, and will to create the most beautiful experience possible in the midst of these crazy, crazy times. And with that, I'm grateful you're here. Let's take a nice deep breath and close the reading. Creator, thank you for this opportunity to gather once again, to pull through information, concepts, distinctions that will serve us this week, that we may show up in the best way possible, that we may harness and leverage our wisdom, our attention, our intention, our beautiful bodies, the wholeness of who we are in the best way possible, so that we are in service to more good, more beauty, more harmony, more enjoyment, more satisfaction, more fulfillment, not just for us, but for the human family and the rest of life on this beautiful planet and the earth herself. Understanding that we, in our humanness and our health and our radiant well-being, are powerful agents for the good. I want to thank all those who helped to hold this space today. I want to thank you for being here as well. And I'd like to acknowledge the overlighting devas of the land where you are, wherever you are on this beautiful planet. Thank you. I'm grateful for your participation, for adding your energy to mine, so that we can continue to do these readings every week for our personal and our collective highest and greatest good. I wish you a positive and effective and enjoyable week, and I'll look forward to seeing you next Friday. Much love and light. We'll talk to you later. Bye.